Shalom and welcome back to part 2 of our Passover series. Last time we saw Moses chosen and called to confront Pharaoh. Today, we enter a dramatic confrontation as Yahuah unleashes his righteous judgment through 10 devastating plagues, each one exposing the emptiness of Egypt's gods. This isn't just about physical miracles, it's about spiritual warfare and divine authority. Let's dive in. Pharaoh not only denied the Hebrews from going into the wilderness to worship Yahuah, he told his slave drivers to stop providing straw for brickmaking. Now, the Hebrews were to go find their own straw, but he left the daily quotas the same. Pharaoh sought to punish the Hebrews, calling them lazy. So Yahuah sent Moses and Aaron back to Pharaoh to perform the first plague in his sight. Exodus chapter 7 verses 16 through 24. Then say to him, "The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to say to you, let my people go, so that they may worship me in the wilderness. But until now you have not listened. This is what the Lord says. By this you will know that I am the Lord. With the staff that is in my hand, I will strike the water of the Nile, and it will be changed into blood. The fish in the Nile will die, and the river will stink. The Egyptians will not be able to drink its water." The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, take your staff and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over the streams and canals, over the ponds and all the reservoirs, and they will turn to blood. Blood will be everywhere in Egypt, even in vessels of wood and stone." Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded. He raised his staff in the presence of Pharaoh and his officials and struck the water of the Nile, and all the water was changed into blood. The fish in the Nile died, and the river smelled so bad that the Egyptians could not drink its water. Blood was everywhere in Egypt. But the Egyptian magicians did the same things by their secret arts, and Pharaoh's heart became hard. He would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said. Instead, he turned and went into his palace, and did not take even this to heart. And all the Egyptians dug along the Nile to get drinking water, because they could not drink the water of the river. Exodus chapter 8 verses 5 through 8. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, stretch out your hand with your staff over the streams and canals and ponds, and make frogs come up on the land of Egypt." So Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land. But the magicians did the same things by their secret arts. They also made frogs come up on the land of Egypt. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Pray to the Lord to take the frogs away from me and my people, and I will let your people go to offer sacrifices to the Lord." Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and asked them to pray to the Lord to take the frogs away from him and his people, and he would in turn let the Hebrews go to offer sacrifices to Yahuah. But after Moses and Aaron left Pharaoh, Moses cried out to the Lord. The frogs died and were piled into heaps, and they stunk. But once Pharaoh saw that there was relief, he hardened his heart and rescinded his offer. Exodus chapter 8 verses 16 through 19. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, stretch out your staff and strike the dust of the ground, and throughout the land of Egypt the dust will become gnats." They did this, and when Aaron stretched out his hand with the staff and struck the dust of the ground, gnats came on people and animals. All the dust throughout the land of Egypt became gnats. But when the magicians tried to produce gnats by their secret arts, they could not. Since the gnats were on people and animals everywhere, the magicians said to Pharaoh, "This is the finger of God." But Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he would not listen. just as the Lord had said. Exodus chapter 8 verses 21-23. If you do not let my people go, I will send swarms of flies on you and your officials, on your people and into your houses. The houses of the Egyptians will be full of flies. Even the ground will be covered with them. But on that day I will deal differently with the land of Goshen, where my people live. No swarms of flies will be there, so that you will know that I, the Lord, am in this land. I will make a distinction between my people and your people. This sign will occur tomorrow. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron, saying, Go, sacrifice to your God here in the land. But Moses said, We must take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. Pharaoh said, I will let you go to offer sacrifices to the Lord your God in the wilderness, but you must not go very far. Now pray for me. Moses told Pharaoh, I will pray to the Lord, and tomorrow the flies will leave. But this time be sure not to act deceitfully again by not letting the people go. The flies left, but Pharaoh hardened his heart and would not let the people go. Exodus chapter 9 verses 2-7. If you refuse to let them go and continue to hold them back, the hand of the Lord will bring a terrible plague on your livestock in the field, on your horses, donkeys and camels, and on your cattle, sheep and goats. But the Lord will make a distinction between the livestock of Israel and that of Egypt, so that no animal belonging to the Israelites will die. The Lord set a time and said, Tomorrow the Lord will do this in the land. And the next day the Lord did it. All the livestock of the Egyptians died, but not one animal belonging to the Israelites died. Pharaoh investigated and found that not even one of the animals of the Israelites had died. Yet his heart was unyielding, and he would not let the people go. Exodus chapter 9 verses 8-11. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, Take handfuls of soot from a furnace and have Moses toss it into the air in the presence of Pharaoh. It will become fine dust over the whole land of Egypt, and festering boils will break out on people and animals throughout the land. So they took soot from a furnace and stood before Pharaoh. Moses tossed it into the air, and festering boils broke out on people and animals. The magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils that were on them and on all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said to Moses. Exodus chapter 9 verses 13-21. This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, so that they may worship me. Or this time I will send the full force of my plagues against you and against your officials and your people, so you may know that there is no one like me in all the earth. For by now I could have stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with a plague that would have wiped you off the earth. But I have raised you up for this very purpose, that I might show you my power, and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. You still set yourself against my people and will not let them go. Therefore, at this time tomorrow, I will send the worst hailstorm that has ever fallen on Egypt, from the day it was founded till now. Give an order now to bring your livestock and everything you have in the field to a place of shelter, because the hail will fall on every person and animal that has not been brought in and is still out in the field, and they will die. Those officials of Pharaoh who feared the word of the Lord hurried to bring their slaves and their livestock inside. But those who ignored the word of the Lord left their slaves and livestock in the field. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron. This time I have sinned, he said to them. The Lord is in the right, and I and my people are in the wrong. Pray to the Lord, for we have had enough thunder and hail. I will let you go. You don't have to stay any longer." Moses replied, "I will pray, and the thunder and hail will stop, so you know the earth is Yahuah's. But I know that you and your officials still do not fear him." When Moses left Pharaoh and he saw that the rain, hail and thunder had stopped, he and his officials hardened their hearts, and they would not let the Israelites go. Exodus chapter 10 verses 4 through 7. "If you refuse to let them go, I will bring locusts into your country tomorrow. They will cover the face of the ground so that it cannot be seen. They will devour what little you have left after the hail, including every tree that is growing in your fields. They will fill your houses and those of all your officials and all the Egyptians, something neither your parents nor your ancestors have ever seen from the day they settled in this land till now." Then Moses turned and left Pharaoh. Pharaoh's officials said to him, "How long will this man be a snare to us? Let the people go, so that they may worship the Lord their God. Do you not yet realize that Egypt is ruined?" Again, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron, saying, "I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now forgive my sin once more and pray to the Lord your God to take this deadly plague away." So Moses prayed to Yahuah, and Yahuah changed the wind to a very strong west wind, which carried them into the Red Sea. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the Israelites go. Exodus chapter 10 verses 21 through 24. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward the sky so that darkness spreads over Egypt, darkness that can be felt." So Moses stretched out his hand toward the sky, and total darkness covered all Egypt for 3 days. No one could see anyone else or move about for 3 days. Yet all the Israelites had light in the places where they lived. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and said, "Go worship the Lord. Even your women and children may go with you. Only leave your flocks and herds behind." Exodus chapter 11 verses 4 through 8. So Moses said, "This is what the Lord says. About midnight I will go throughout Egypt. Every firstborn son in Egypt will die, from the firstborn son of Pharaoh, who sits on the throne, to the firstborn son of the female slave who is at her hand, mill, and all the firstborn of the cattle as well. There will be loud wailing throughout Egypt, worse than there has ever been or ever will be again. But among the Israelites, not a dog will bark at any person or animal. Then you will know that the Lord makes a distinction between Egypt and Israel. All these officials of yours will come to me, bowing down before me and saying, 'Go you and all the people who follow you.' After that I will leave." Then Moses, hot with anger, left Pharaoh. Each plague was a direct strike against Egypt's pride and idolatry, showing that Yahuah alone is sovereign. As the final plague looms, the tension builds. What will it take for Pharaoh to finally let Yahuah's people go? In part 3, we'll witness the first Passover and the miraculous escape that forever changed history. See you there.